This video introduces the process of making a prototype model of a trackball mouse. It is intended for people who want to further improve their Rhinoceros handling skills. I think most people don't usually model anything other than the shapes they are used to making. However, if you model a fairly complex shape even just once, you can improve your handling skills in almost any field. I hope you will watch this video and get a feel for how this kind of modeling is done. Now, before we start, I'd like to talk about the order of the modeling process. I will introduce 3 main steps. First, we'll create the curved outlines needed to build the mouse. Once we have these outlines, we'll create a surface based on them. After the surface is created, we'll finish by applying the fillet process to the edges. So, let's get started with modeling. First of all, this file is opened in mm. So, when you start, create a new one and open it in millimeter. So, first of all, we'll create the guidelines and wireframe that you can see on this screen now, which will serve as guidelines for the object. This is to make sure you don't get the scale wrong, so if you create it in advance, it will serve as an aid when drawing lines later. So, let's get started. First, execute the box command. After executing the box command, click on the center point, enter 0 to specify the origin, and enter 77 for the width. Next, the length is 110. Next, the height is 43. Create a box like this. If you want to change the dimensions, if you use the length dimension in the dimension menu, take each of these endpoints and make it look like this. You can measure the dimensions. This is how the guidelines were created. I'm currently trying to make a trackball mouse. You need to make a round sphere. Let's also confirm the position of the sphere. I think this is easy to understand. So with the sphere command, specify the origin and the radius as 15 millimeters. Once it's done like this, minus 25 millimeters to the side vertically, or rather in the Y direction, 10 millimeters if you move at 20 millimeters upwards, it will be roughly in this position. If you leave it like this, it may be a little hard to see in the display format. So what you can do is to run the command set object display mode, and select this wireframe, press enter, and this is the mode view. Click on it, and if you click on the wireframe, it will be displayed as a wireframe, so let's make it look like this. Once you've done this, lock the layer so it doesn't move. That's it for the wireframe. So once the guidelines are ready, now I want to create the outline of the mouse when viewed from the top view. First of all, I want to draw a curve of the part that will be placed on the table. So I'll create a layer called curve1 and run the curve command. It will look roughly like this. Draw a line like this at this time. Use the command curvature graph. The curvature of this curve is well displaying like this. When I move the line, the curvature becomes abnormally high. You might be able to make adjustments while looking at things like that. I usually do it while looking at things like this. When drawing this line, be sure to check projection. Adjust this a little yourself. Please try adjusting it. Once you have created this outline to some extent, use the trim command to remove the protruding parts. If you change all of this in this state, if there's anything else that bothers you, like, I wish this part was a little more here, maybe you want it to be a little fuller, try adjusting it. This is the part that will be installed. So I think it's a good idea to draw a line so that it doesn't go beyond this frame. There will be another line on the outside of this one. Try adjusting this first. Now, let's create curve 2. This is the outer range, so let's take a look at how to make this. First, I think you've all made it up to this point. So this part first, join them with the join command. Make sure that this is a closed curve. Once this is done, execute the offset command here. Here, we set the action to loose to yes. If we set loose to yes, we can offset this configuration of control points while keeping it the same. When you specify a passing point, you can use the mouse too. You can offset while you click. This is optional, so click. Once you have done that, use the extend command. Change this part a little like this. Once you do that, just like when you created curve 1, select them all and press the F10 command to display the control points. Then set each one like this. I think it would be good to separate the lines like this. We will make adjustments. Once you've made some adjustments like this, you can trim it again just like before. For example, there are only 3 control points in this area, so if you want to add more, run the command insert control point. You can add control points to this area. The shape has become strange in this way. It becomes a little more complicated. If you want to control the curve, set the line like this. I think it would be a good idea to set up a control point First, try adjusting it from the top view. So, once you've created the outline like this, you'll want to adjust the height direction of this outline line. Right now, I'm drawing a line that has already been adjusted in the height direction like this, but I'm going to create a line like this. Now, I'm going to show you how to create this. I'll hide this for now. I think everyone is in a similar state right now, so I think it's okay to look at it in 3 dimensions from this perspective, and start by making adjustments like this. If it's a bit floppy, try something like this. This is how we raise it. This time too, it's a pain to display the control points every time, so I press F10 to display the control points. Like this, I will raise it. With this, you can check it in 3D, such as the front view or the right view. I think it's also good to look at it in this way and adjust it. You need to adjust this area in this way while looking at various views. For example, if you look from the front view, it looks like you're looking from behind, but in fact, you need to add a view a little further forward. For example, if you want to see this object from this side, you need to add a view. In that case, what you do is, right now, the front view looks like this, but click on the arrow here to split it vertically in the viewport layout, and then click again. Now, you have 2 front views. If you then enter back in the view settings, you will see that you are looking from perspective and from here. You can adjust the state like this. If you have front right, left, I think it's a good idea to adjust it like this. First, bring it up in 3D, and then make adjustments. If you raise this, you can see it again in the top view. I think I want to narrow this area a bit more. This kind of thing also comes up basically in top view, this XY front or back, C direction. I think it would be easier to adjust if you separate it into 2 parts. If you find it difficult to switch, try dragging it like this, and enlarging both perspective and top a little like this. So, first try making these adjustments. Now, try adjusting it. Well then, once you've adjusted the red curve too at the top, you'll add this blue line. Create a layer called something like curve 3, and then I'll make it blue. But you can choose any color you want. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this for a moment, but I'm going to use the line command. This endpoint and this endpoint, I'm connecting and drawing a line draw from here to here in all 4 places. The thing to note is that this point is separated, So bring it to the coarse point on this side and attach it to this line. If you do that, the point you thought was this may shift. So also, if you need to make any adjustments while the parts are still attached, please do so. Now, try drawing this blue line. Once you've drawn this blue line, we'll now create this yellow-green line. First, create a new yellow-green layer called Curve 4. Now let's take a look at the process of creating it. First, run the line command. Check projection, and look at it from the top view. Click on this endpoint. Press Shift, turn on orthogonal mode, and click like this. Once you've created a line like this, select it and drag it to this gumball dot. Create a surface on top in the same way as it stood. Once you've done this, there's a command called intersect, so run the intersect command and select these two. Press enter, and you'll create an intersection like this. Select this and use once you have created the points like this. Use the line command again and uncheck projection. From this vertex to this end point, click here, and there's no bending now. Now run the rebuild command degree 3 or 4 press. Okay, done. Lift this up, right view, or whatever you like. This is the straight state in the top view. So I'll add a little modification to this, like this. Once you've done this, you can now create this middle line. If you're concerned about the middle line, you can draw a straight line here. For example, and connect it. Here, I'm going to go through the midpoint, and then I'm going to point to roughly the middle here, and then I'm going to use rebuild to raise it up, just like before. This is how it looks. I guess you could say it's swelling up. This will be the line that forms the image. You can place it wherever you like. Once you've done this, you need to specify the origin with the line command again, and use the shift key to create the surface from before. So, move the line like this, and move it to this position. Now, the intersections of these lines, I want to create an intersection of these 3 lines. So, I raise it to this height. Intersect would be fine, but there's a command called intersect 2 sets. So, I'll introduce that. 2 sets is a function that will intersect part A and part B when there are many objects. With the normal intersect, you select and draw a line of intersection at the intersection of all the overlapping objects. So, when there are many objects, I recommend using intersect to sets. Select this and press enter to set the first one. Next, press enter here, here, and here. You can get the intersection like this. We don't need this, so we'll delete it. We want to connect the lines here, so we'll use interpolate curve. Create a line that always passes through this point at this time. For example, if something is simple, this is how it goes. If you want to lower this a little more, add a control point with insert control point and lower it like this. However, if you don't do this first, this will shift again. So if you want a twisted shape, I recommend adding a control point like this. First of all, I think the simple shape is fine. Now, try adjusting it. Now, once you have adjusted the green line, now we want to create the surface of this surface 1, the bottom part. So, first of all, let's create a layer called surface 1. I set the color to black. The outline has already been created, so you can hide the wireframe. If you still want to have it, you can leave it display. So, first, we want to create the bottom surface. So we'll run the planos command. With the planos command, select this line and press enter. Next, run the EdgeSrf command. Select this line, and this line. Next is this line and this line. We will paste the faces. At this time, you will be asked to choose either edge or surface, but either is fine. Please choose the one you like. This is how we create the surface 1 below. So, let's try making it. Now that we have created surface 1, we will create surface 2, the blue part. First, create a new layer for surface 2. Mine is blue. Once you create surface 1, for those of curve 1, 2, and 3, I think it will no longer be necessary. For a while you can hide it if you want. From this state, we will use sweep 2 to create the model, but this cross section will overlap like this, so we will first split this part. So, first, in preparation for the sweep, we will execute the SplitEdge command. Select this edge, click on this intersection to split it. To check if the split was successful, hold down the Shift plus Ctrl keys and click on the edge. You can then check the edge like this. Now, let's split this part in the same way. Another part is this one spot dash 2. Once you split the edge like this, you'll wanna split this part. So, instead of split edge, run the split command and click on the point option. Select the line, and this is the endpoint. Click and press the Enter key. Once you have divided it like this, select each of these rails with the sweep to command. We'll draw a surface. Keep the first and last cross sections in place and make them continuous. Set B to continuous and press OK. Next, sweep 2. Make sure to select the edge here. Since curvature needs to be continuous at B, set it to curvature. Keep the first and last cross sections and press OK. Next is this part using EdgeSrf. I think it would be better to choose this edge and a curve here to create a simpler surface. Select it and create a face like this. Then join using the FilletEdge command. Check to see if there are any holes. It doesn't seem to be available. So, I think this is fine. I don't think there's any problem with the current situation. So, try making this surface too. Now that we've created surface 2, we'll process that surface again to create surface 3. We're repasting the red surface here, but this is because we've erased some of the edge lines to create this kind of expression. Please think of it as something that is being created. So, to get started, I think everyone has done this much, so please create new layers called Curve 5 and Surface 3. Once you have created these surfaces will be in a combined state, so let's explode them using the explode command. Once you've done this, use the extract isocurve command to click on this surface. I think it's good to have about 3 places. Once you've done that, snap the endpoint to the side, click to create the shape. Once you've done that, it's time for the split command. Select the isocurve with the split command and choose how much to cut. Once you've done this, run the BlendCrv command. Then click and click. The endpoints will be generated in completely different locations, as shown in 1 and 2. Move it here and snap it to each intersection. So, this huddle is still like this. But if you switch it like this again, it will automatically look like this. It will fix it if it's a little too bloated. Try this. I'll fix it. Run BlendCrv again at this time. Don't forget to check the trim. Once you've done this, the edges will overlap, so you can use the FilletEdge command. Once you have done that, we will now paste the surface. So move to surface 3 and execute the sweep to command. This time, it doesn't matter if it's an edge or a curve. Please select the cross section here. Select curvature continuity for B and position continuity for A. Check the box to keep the first and last cross sections and click OK. You can paste the surface like this now. Try making it up to this point. Now that we've created the red surface, surface 3 will create the green surface next to it, surface 4. This surface has this edge line, so we'll erase this. Now, I think you are all in this state, so first create a new layer called Curve 6 Surface 4. Mine is a green layer. The first here I want to create lines. I will use the isolate command to hide other surfaces. Once this is done, I will use the line command. The origin is indicated like this. Create a straight line. Once you have done that, use the BlendCrv command. So I'm going to select this curve and select this edge. Don't forget to copy it at this time. Once this is done, enter 1, 2, 3 in this part. Draw a line. Use the extend command to extend the line like this. In this state, it looks like this. The edges are arranged at an angle. So select them all and use the project tools plane command. You can delete the original object if you like. This will create a line like this. Once you've done this, select them all again and drag this round gumball so that this surface is above the blue surface. Once you've done this, use the intersect two sets command. Select these two surfaces and press enter. For the second, select these three surfaces and press enter. This will create an intersection line here. You don't need these, so you can delete them. Once you've done this, use the split command. Click roughly around here on the ISO curve. This will be deleted. The rest is the same as when we made the surface 3. Run the BlendCrv command to blend here and here. Make sure to align the endpoints with after combining them. This continuity, let's make sure to secure it. Keep the trim checked. You can adjust these areas however you like. Now you have a cross-section line like this. Then, use the show command like this. I'll show the model I just hid. I'll use the sweep to command, but this part overlaps again. So I'll use the split edge command to split this part, and there's another one on this side. Once this is done, use the sweep to command. Maintain the first and last cross sections. A is the curvature. B can be continuous in position. If you look at the edge, it looks like this. Now press OK, then this side part will be erased. You can create a surface. Let's try creating one. Once you've created surface 4, you'll want to perform fillet processing. This is the corner part, so we'll process it here. So let's see how to do that. First, display surface 432 over one that you've created so far. Select them all and copy the objects to the fillet layer. Please create a new fillet layer. As with any modeling, filleting is usually done at the very end. I want to save the previous surface. Basically, when you fillet, I recommend you put everything into a new layer and leave the original surface. Otherwise, it's going to be a pain when you want to change or edit it, so having the original surface makes it easier. Now, select everything and join it with the join command. At this time, make sure it is a closed poly surface. If there are any holes, fill them up. Now we will use the FilletEdge command. Fill the fillet from the largest value to the smallest value. For now, we will start with 30, but 30 will not take long. Do it at 25. This doesn't work either. So I tried it with 20. Yes, this doesn't work either. It worked at 15. I started at 30 and it didn't work. So I went to 25. It took 25. I also took 30. It doesn't cost 25. This one doesn't need to be such a large value. Set it to 15 or something and attach a chain edge. This part is a bit wrinkled like this. Set this to 15. I just applied the filler like this, that there are quite a few cases where it doesn't work properly. In fact, in most cases, when you try to process complex shapes, the fillet command doesn't work properly. So, I'd like to show you how to handle this. First, run the pipe command. With the chain edge command, select this chain plus, enter. At this point, the cap is attached to the plane, so I think it's best to leave it off. It doesn't have to be a solid shape. Once you've done this, I think it's best to set the radius to about 5. This pipe will be created. Extend it a little with EdgeSrf. Then, we'll explode this. I'll disassemble it. Once I've disassembled it, we will trim this side. I don't need this anymore, so I'll delete it. Once you've done this, use the BlendCrv command you've been using frequently. Blend it like this. I think it's best to see it from above. Make the curvature continuous plus, okay? Similarly, below reinforce with BlendCrv. Now, we'll use the pull command to project this curve here. In the same way, project this curve onto this surface. I think you can delete the original object. If there is a duplication, it will be difficult to tell. So this part is duplicated. Then, use the trim command to trim this part. Trim this part in the same way. Once you've done this, check the chain edge with the sweep command. The first two sides here, the second one is here. Place the cross section here and here, and paste the surface. Maintaining the first and last cross sections, set the continuity of A and B to curvature or tangent and click OK. Then you can paste the surface like this. Finally, join, make sure it's a closed shape. If you render it, you'll see the line right here. The fillet part was processed in this way. This concludes the Trackball mouse modeling exercise. Thank you for your hard work.